Ethers are organic compounds that contain an oxygen atom bonded to carbon atoms that form part of R groups. These R groups are typically alkyl type groups. They may be the same, in such case we call ethers symmetrical, or different, in which case we call them unsymmetrical. For example, this compound here contains two different alkyl type groups connected to the oxygen atom, so this is an unsymmetrical ether. This compound contains similar alkyl groups connected to the oxygen atom, and so this is a symmetrical ether. The R group may also be an aromatic group, here a phenyl group. R groups can also be alkenyl type groups. In common nomenclature, the groups attached to oxygen are listed in alphabetical order. So, common nomenclature dictates that this compound be called ethyl methyl ether. This compound here contains both ethyl groups, and so its common name is diethyl ether. For this compound here, we can start our name from tertiary butyl, that is letter B, and then mention phenyl. So we call it tert or T-butyl phenyl ether. In IUPAC, the alkoxy group is taken as a substituent on the main chain. For example, this methoxy group is attached to a 5-carbon chain at carbon 2, and so we can call this as 2-methoxy pentane. This ethoxy group is attached to a cyclohexane ring, so this is ethoxy cyclohexane. There are two methoxy groups here, 1 and 2, which are attached to an ethane chain at 1 and 2 positions. So we can call this compound as 1,2-dimethoxy ethane. Cyclic ethers can be named using the prefix oxa. For example is oxacyclopropane. It may seem like a misnomer because here you have only 2 carbons and an oxygen. But here, oxygen is taken as a replacement of a carbon atom. That's the name. So, cyclopropane is retained and an oxa prefix is added. Take note that in numbering, the heteroatom, which is oxygen, is taken as position 1. Another name for this compound is oxirane or ethylene oxide in common nomenclature. For the 4-membered ring, which contains an oxygen substituting a carbon atom, the compound is called oxacyclobutane or oxetane. A 5-membered ring is called oxacyclopentane. The common name of this compound is tetrahydrofuran or THF. This ring structure contains 2 oxygen atoms, and the name is 1,4-dioxacyclohexane or 1,4-dioxane. 1 and 4 pertains to the relative positions of the oxygen atoms. 1 here and 4 here. Ethers are weakly polar molecules. They have dipole moments because of the bent arrangement of atoms around the oxygen. There's a net dipole moment going to this direction. In contrast to alcohols, ethers cannot form hydrogen bonds to each other because they lack a hydrogen attached to an electronegative atom, such as oxygen. As a result, ether boiling points are closer to that of hydrocarbons of the same molar mass than to that of isomeric alcohols. Given these compounds here, dimethyl ether has a boiling point of -24 degrees Celsius, which is much closer to the boiling point of propane than the boiling point of its isomer, ethanol. You should take note that ethers form hydrogen bonds with water, and this can explain the relative solubility of some low molecular weight ethers in water.